Hello and welcome to another episode of Nurse Amy Academy. I think two episodes ago I had talked about one of my students from last year actually did a website for me. I really should complete that website. We're working on it. We're working on it. I know. And she had named my website Nurse Amy Online Academy. But since I did that video, I'm also getting some of my students saying, no, don't put the online thing. I don't know. What do you guys think? Nurse Amy Online Academy or Nurse Amy Academy? We'll see. I'll see what the verdict is. But let me know, okay? So today we are going to talk about 3 top differences between school experience and work experience, because this is another question that I get. Okay, again, I'm trying to answer questions. Okay, what is the difference between school experience and work experience? Okay, so let's talk about it. Now, I do remember, now for those of you who don't know, I'm just going to give you a short short history of me. I was an LPN for the longest time. So I gained experience. I've owned businesses in healthcare and I've run other people's businesses. And then I went back to do my RN. And in that program for me, because I think I came with a wealth of experience. And again, for those of you who've been following me, nursing is not my first rodeo or foray into college. So I guess I went in prepared. No, the word is not prepared. The word is experience, I guess. Okay. So school experience. So for me, it was fine, but I do remember a lot of my students, my colleagues saying, oh, I'm not learning anything. I don't, there's just too much. I don't know what to do. If I go out into the field, I don't know what to do. I just, all that. And I get that. And I still hear it now from students that I teach or, tutor. Like, I don't have the experience. Oh, I have some that have, come through a different school, CNA program or nursing program, and they come to me and they're like, oh my God, just speaking with you, I gained some experience from you. Fine, I'm flattered. I'm also honored. They feel that way. But what are the 3 top differences, okay, with school experience and work experience? Number 1, school teaches you how to pass exam. So let's just get that out of the way. Let's not beat about the bush. And you know me, I'm going to tell you the truth. I'm just going to give it to you like that. Rip off the Band-Aid and just tell you what it is. What school teaches you is how to pass your exam. I tell my students that. There's a science to passing, and there's a way to get the job done. Are you following me? Please follow me. So number 1 difference. In the school, your experiences, you're going to pass your exam. There's a science to it. So that's what the school is there for. Teach you how to pass your exam. Work experience? Oh, guess what? How to do the job. So let's put this in perspective. So I teach CNA program where we work on mannequins, and it's one mannequin at a time. And even if we do go out to the field, it's one patient at a time. I'm there, their colleagues are there, and kumbaya, we're all together. That's all great and wonderful. And then when the exam comes and they've learned the tricks of the trade, right? Of how to pass the exam. And that's cool. In the work world, well, there's not one patient to you. The truth of the matter is you're going to have upwards of, I don't know, from 10 to 30 patients. Depends on what shift, depends on what facility you work, depends if you work with agency and what have you. I mean, there's a plethora of different scenarios out there. So the difference, number 1, in school, you're learning how to pass exam. Let's get that out of the way. It's just for you to pass the exam. You're not going to get that experience. Because for those of you trying to get experience while you're in school, okay, that is, for want of a better word, you're living in a dream world. Okay, it's foolishness. You're not going to get that experience. So the difference, I'm just going to juxtapose. Okay, so pass exam, school, And then for work experience, it's how to get the job done. You're going to learn the tricks of the trade. You're going to learn how to manage time. You're going to learn how to interface with colleagues, with your superiors, with the patients, with the family. You know, even if you were told this in school, it's how to prioritize and how to answer the questions. In the real world, it is different. So you will learn how to do the job, work experience. So number two, in school experience, it introduces you to say you're doing CNA. So it gives you a snapshot of what that world is like. Like, it gives you a purview. It gives you a snapshot, like I said, a snapshot of what that world looks like. You get a peek into it. Okay, so that is what it is. So it gives you like, oh, okay, oh, this is what, because again, I get a lot of very, very green, very, very new people who have never worked in the healthcare. They don't know what happens in the healthcare world. Now, I do get pre-PA students, I get pre-med students, I get pre-nursing students. They don't know. So true, when you come to a program that I teach, they get a snapshot of what that world is like. So they start to understand. I even remember being in class, I taught everyone knew what bedpan was. No, not everybody. I have students who don't know what bedpan is. I have students who don't know what a gate belt is. I have students who don't know the word ambulation. I have students who are like, oh, is this how we transfer? First of all, I need to tell you this. If you haven't been taught how to properly transfer, a dependent patient, a patient that depends on you to help them, assist them to transfer, you're not going to know it just because you're a nurse or a doctor. No, you have to be trained. I train students to do this stuff, okay? I had to learn to do that stuff. I wasn't using that on my job as a registered nurse. So, but you get a snapshot into it. They start to like, oh, okay, so we need to put on gloves when we're even serving water, okay? When we're passing out trays. So it gives them a snapshot of what that world is like, okay? And then in the work experience is, well, you're not just getting a snapshot, you're in the snapshot. Does that make sense? So you're exposed to the different departments, you're introduced to the different team members, the interdisciplinary teams. You're introduced to the patients. They're real patients now. They're your patients. You have responsibility. So you're gaining that experience. Does that make sense? So again, I'm juxtaposing. When you're in school, you're getting a snapshot. When you are at work, well, you're inside the snapshot. You're inside the video. You're inside the TV. You are the star now, okay? You are part of an ensemble cast, okay? So, and that is where I see students that come back to me like, oh, you know what? I want to go into nursing. Or I'm thinking I want to be a doctor now. Oh, I want to be a PA. I want to be a nurse practitioner, because they've gone from that point where they're in class, okay, where the snapshot, and then when they go into the field, they're like, oh, I have all these other options. Okay, so they now have to know they can move different departments and where they can work. So they're exposed to the world. Okay, they're exposed. There's a snapshot, little exposure. So that's the difference. The other thing is, this should have been my number 2 actually, introduction to subject matter. I was saying, okay, so in school is an introduction. It's the same thing. It's kind of in line with number 3, but the difference is the introductory part is, I'm just saying it's more of let me put this in perspective. I can relate to 1 and 3 in that work is where you get the experience. So that whole thing of I went through school, and you're thinking that when you start work, you're going to be experienced. It's not going to work like that. It doesn't work like that. Okay. You don't have it that way. School teaches you different subject matters. Okay, it's going to teach you psychology. It's going to teach you sociology. It's going to teach you pharmacology. It's going to teach you geriatrics, maternal nursing, and pediatrics. Do you see what I'm saying? There's so many. So it's an introduction to the different subject matters. Okay, which when you now go to work experience is you're actually experiencing them. Does that make sense? So you don't, let me put this in perspective. So I find again, I'm going to use my class. I had students in my class that were like, oh, I don't know how to if I go, I still don't remember how to do insert a Foley catheter, or to do ugh, chest tube, the drainage, the word just flew out of my head, but the, oh my god, I'll probably put it on the screen, but it's the chest tube, again, in school you're taught how to it's an exam, you know how to write it, you know what to do, you know the tricks of passing. No one's going to throw you to the floor. Please understand this. You have the right to say, and listen to this very carefully, if you've not been trained, don't do it. If you have been trained and you don't feel comfortable, do not do it. I share this freely. I let you know, because my students tell me, the other day they told me to go clean out a colostomy bag. I mean, it's what I know in class. This is a former student of mine who had graduated fantastically in my class, went on to do a state test. Great. Started, and then she's like, you know what, Nurse Amy, I think I want to do nursing. I'm going to go on to be a pediatric nurse. I'm like, oh, that's good. However, she was working in a nursing home, which actually had helped her to get that job. And then she was like, they told me to clean out a colostomy bag. And then she was like, I know from what you told me, but I don't have the experience. I'm like, then did they train you? She's like, no, the only training I have is what you told me in class. I'm like, well, that's not enough. That is not enough. She's like, I'm afraid they're going to write me up. Well, then, you know what? This is the thing about write-up. And I'm probably going to do a separate video on write-ups. Okay. Write-up, when they write you up, you do have a chance to defend yourself. So I have not been trained on changing a colostomy bag, and I do not feel comfortable doing it because the safety of my patient is paramount. So I do not want to jeopardize the safety of that again just nullifies whatever it is that we're cooking up. So you need to understand, write-up is not the be all and end all. It's not, don't let that scare you. The nurse is going to write me up. Yes, but the nurse also has to defend the write-up. So if you come back with, I've not been trained, it's not enough to say, well, did you pass through a CNA school? Yeah, but I don't have the experience. I haven't done it. We did it in class. Okay. Or did you do it in class? Well, you should be able to, wait, that's okay. I'm not comfortable. That's a word you should, again, that's the word you should use. I'm not comfortable. I'm going to use myself. So I went to work somewhere. I'm not going to mention the nursing home. I'm just going to quickly, this video is longer than I expected. And they wanted me to draw blood from a PICC line. No, was it a PICC line? I think so. I'm trying to remember now, because now I've seen this video is going so fast. The time is going so fast. And I didn't feel comfortable because I didn't understand the contraption. First of all, that patient wasn't mine. But that wasn't the deterrent, though. It was just the fact that because I'm the RN, you expect me to automatically just know everything about the floor, know everything about this system. You mean you want me to go on YouTube and then figure out? I'm not going to. Again, the safety of the patient is important to me. So it's not enough for you to dare me and say, oh, well, I thought you're an RN. Well, it doesn't mean anything. A doctor could be here and still not be able to do what you're asking me to do. Anyway, longer than I thought, but hopefully those are the 3 top differences between school experience and work experience. I needed to talk about this because people say that all the time. when I get to the floor, I don't know what to do. You're not going to know what to do. You're going to be trained. Okay? I don't care if you're some neurosurgeon from Harvard. You come to a hospital here in in the state where I am, they're going to put you through how stuff are done in their hospitals. Okay? That's how it works. So hopefully that put things in perspective for you and answered some of the questions. If you need me to do some more about these topics, just let me know in the comments below. Write to me directly. So I'll see you in my next episode.